Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome for today's continuous discussion on Nectar of Devotion. My apology that we supposed to do program yesterday on Ekadasi day, but my daughter was not well and she need to be admitted, so that's why I couldn't make it yesterday. But today onwards, we can continue. So we have a very nectarian moment. So before that, did you all meditate in chanting while looking at that flute of Krishna? Anyone chanting in meditation? Is it good? Anyone did that? While chanting, you meditate on the flute. Venu, Murali, and what is the third one? Vangsi. Sudha Sindhu Mataji, did you try? Gandhi Mataji, Vaishnava Prabhu, Chaini Mataji.
I just try on the lotus feet. I like the lotus feet.
Okay, you like the lotus feet, good.
Yeah.
Lotus feet and the leg anklet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Vaishnava Prabhu. So how's your chanting yesterday, Prabhu? Are you there?
It's like that. Every day you think about the same thing. I go to other other pastimes also, like Putana and Govardhan, because all the time you cannot think about the hair, the eyes, the ears, the nose. Every day, there's also so many rounds. How many times can you think, Babu? Can you tell me how to do it? Or you think I can keep on repeating?
Okay, like myself. So I seems to be very attracted to the flutes, the flute of Krishna. So first I'll meditate on the small flute, on what they call on this Venu.
Can I ask you something, Babu? If you think about Venu, how many times will you say Hare Krishna?
See, Venu, okay, like you see the screen behind me.
No, Prabhu, you're talking about Venu. Then
yeah, understand.
Once you think about a Venu, how many times will we say Hare Krishna?
That's the thing. I'm saying. Say, like if you see the screen behind me, Krishna is holding that small Venu.
Yeah.
All right, the small flute.
Yeah.
So first I meditate on Krishna having that Venu. Then after that, how he runs around the cow herd, play the thing, attracts the cow, attracts the gopals, having fun under the tree, like that. You can go on many rounds.
Not many rounds. How many times like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare?
Yeah. In that, I'm saying meditating on that in at least few rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds.
Okay, thank you.
So that means you expand. Now Krishna is having Venu. Okay, Venu with Balaram.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you just go on, just meditating all the pastime. In fact, Prabhu, you can finish up the entire 16 rounds in one meditation on Venu.
Yeah.
I mean, I am doing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Then after that, we go to Murali. So Murali, all right. So what does he do? Go on. Then you go on Vangsi. You meditate on the flute first, long, studded with jewelry and all these things. Yeah. Because every part of Krishna, actually, like what Sudha Sindhu Mataji is telling, she's so attracted to the lotus feet and she chant entire round meditating on the lotus feet. Every anga of Krishna's body, every part of Krishna's body is so beautiful that what I'm saying is that you can't even sometimes take your mind away from that. Right? Like initially before we study about Venu, about the flutes, I was meditating on the 2-layer dhoti of Krishna. One is yellow, another one is covered by the red color cloth. We studied that, right?
Yeah.
So red color cloth. Then after that, we talk about the what they call the belt and a kind of decoration at the side with made of pearl, like that. And also sometimes when you meditate on Krishna's garland, such a long beautiful garland, up to the feet, and imagine Krishna is dancing and the garland is like waving. So depends on the your mind is attracted to which on that particular mood.
Till now, so many years, they never showed the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. But
Yeah.
this time they showed two places. One was Tudu also showed, and one more
That
thing
is,
also.
that is once a year on one particular celebration. What celebration is that?
Gobastami. Prabhu.
Is it Gopastami?
Yeah, because they say she also follows Krishna. So when she goes down there, Allah share the Prabhu. So muddy. So she will lift her attire a bit and then cross over.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So that's the time that you see the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani.
Are we allowed to meditate on that, Prabhu?
If it gives you ecstasy, why not?
But there is some restrictions about Srimati Radharani, Prabhu.
Yeah, you are not allowed to look at it. You are not allowed to like touch it and everything, but you can meditate. You can keep it in your mind.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, why not? All right. So with that, நல்லா பொறையிருச்சு. Okay, with that, we start our session today. Let's do our invocation prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarjadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shivishakan Vidamscha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvashesha Shunyavadi Pasachades Darini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namini Shri Varshabhana Vidividaitai Kripabdai Krishna Sambandha Viknanadayini Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtai Rina Tarini Rupanuga Viruta Pasidanta Dvanta Harini Nama Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtai Vipralambara Sambodhe Padam Bhujaiti Nama Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidanandanamini Gaura Shakti Sarupai Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumi Stavnidasa Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhama Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Mancha Kalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhubheva Paditanam Pavinibi Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Garutisya Nama Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kantarada Kanta Namustate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusteri Vipranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Shri Guru Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. So we have successfully completed chapter 26. All right, such a beautiful chapter. Okay, so we discussed on all the qualities. Okay, chapter 26, stimulation for ecstatic love. So what are the days that we can get stimulated? We have studied that. Okay, so today we are starting chapter 27, symptoms of ecstatic love. So what are the symptoms? Okay, symptoms of ecstatic love that we're going to discuss. And now for everyone's information, now we are starting the second wave. Okay, we are starting second wave here. So, okay, so second wave. So 2.2 means what? 2.2 means is a Southern Ocean second wave. Like just now, like yesterday, last week, we discussed on first wave. Can you see 2.1.384? So 2.1.384. So now we're going to start that 2.2. That means Southern Ocean second wave. Okay. Anubhavakya Divittiha Lahari. Okay, Anubhava. All right? So, Anubhavastu chittasta bhavanam avabodhakaha te bahir vikriya prayaha prokta udbhashvarakyaya. All right? He's quoting from Southern Ocean, second wave, text 1. So now what we're going to study here is the bodily symptom manifested by who? By devotee in expressing ecstatic love for Krishna is called Anubhava. Please underline this statement. So that means the bodily manifestation, all right? So the bodily manifestation, sometimes say like for instance, when we are falling in love, you know, when we are having first time when we meet our husband or fiance or boyfriend or something like that, how our bodily symptom manifest. You know, our face start to blush. You know, we feel a kind of palpitation. Sometimes you couldn't be talking. So these kind of things is a expression. So that's the symptoms manifested. Okay, like that. So here, Anubhava means a bodily symptom manifested by devotee. Okay, who in expressing ecstatic love, okay, is called Anubhava. Right? Can you all remember that word? So I hope that you can underline the statement. Very important. What is Anubhava? Okay. All right. Let's look at the verse now. Nirtyang vilutitam geetam kroshanam tanu motanam hunkaro jrimbanam swasha bhuma loka napekshita lala sravuttahasascha gurna hikadayo picha. Okay, he's quoting from 2.2.2. So practical example of Anubhava. Okay, what is the practical example of Anubhava? All right, please underline this statement. What is practical example? Number 1 is dancing. Number 2 is rolling on the ground. Number 3, singing very loudly. All right, number 4, stretching the body. Then crying out loudly, yawning. You know, sometimes when you yawn, okay. Breathing very heavily, neglecting the presence of others, drooling, laughing like a madman, willing the hate and bletching. When there is an extraordinary excessive love with all these bodily symptoms manifested, one feels relieved transcendentally. All right. Sometimes they say, you know, I don't know why when I start chanting, I'll yawn a lot. You all experienced that before? When you start to chant only, you start yawning. Other time you don't yawn. All right. So that's the thing. So this is all one of that Anubhava. So now we understand this. All right. So what are the examples of Anubhava? Number 1 is dancing, rolling on the ground, singing very loudly, stretching the body, crying loudly, yawning, breathing very heavily, neglecting the presence of others. That means you don't care about others. Drooling, laughing like a madman, willing the hate and belching. When the extraordinary excess of ecstatic love with all these bodily symptoms manifest, one feels relieved transcendentally. All right. Now we're going to discuss about one by one. What is dancing one by the, okay. Now let's look at this. Te shitaha shepanashcheti yatartakhya dividoditaha shitarshur gita jrimbatya nirtyadya shepanat vidya vidaha. These symptoms are divided into 2 parts. So these kind of symptoms are divided into 2 parts. One is called Shita. That's why it's very important, the pronunciation. All right. Hey, is it the Sitaram? No. You see the S with apostrophe. All right. That's why this thing, okay, S with apostrophe. So S with apostrophe means what? We're going to pronounce like shampoo. Okay, shampoo. So it's called as, and you see the I, all right, with the dash on top. So we pull the raga. Shita. Okay. So the symptoms are divided into two parts. One is called Shita and the others called as Shepana. Other second is called as Shepana. Are you all following me on this?
Yeah, brother.
Yes.
Okay. Is there something wrong with my... alamak. Just give me a second. Why this thing is coming like this? Stop share. Okay. Let me share again. All right. Okay. Now. Okay. So first thing is what we understand from here. Please take note. One is Shita. Second is Shepana. Shepana. You see the S here, the S here. There's a dot at the bottom. All right. When the dot is a bottom, we roll our tongue and pronounce S. Sha. Sha. So it sounds like S, but doesn't sound like S. So Shepana. So how are you going to pronounce? K. K. Shepana. So Shita, and Shepana. Na. And you see the N, and there's a dot here at the bottom. All right. Also, we're going to pronounce it. You roll the tongue. Na, 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 na. So na. So Shepana. Shepana. Okay. So now let's look at this. When there is yawning, you know yawning, right? Kottavi, sorry, Kottavi. Right? You are yawning. Okay, when there is yawning, the symptom is called as Shita. Okay, I'm going very slow. If you don't understand, stop me immediately. When there is yawning, the symptoms are called as Shita. But when there is dancing, they are known as Shepana. Okay, so how we can understand this? All right, when there is yawning. All right, so when you are chanting and you're yawning, it's all Shita. When there's a symptoms of called dancing or expressing, it's called Shepana. Okay, now let's look at that in detail. Tatra nirtyang yata murali kurali sudakiram. Sorry, murali kurali sudakiram hari vaktrendum aveksha kampitaha ganane shaganesha dindima dvanibis tandavam ashrito haraha. So now we're talking about dancing first, all right? So first symptom we talk about dancing, all right? So what is it? Dvanibis tandavam ashrito hara. While watching the rasa performance, rasa dance, rasa leela, while watching, performed by Lord Krishna and the gopis, Lord Shiva beheld the beautiful face of Krishna. Beheld. Let me see. He was so like, he was holding. He was like so mesmerized. The beautiful face of Krishna. And immediately began to dance and beat upon his small dindima. All right. So dindima. So Krishna, when Lord Shiva danced, we call tandavam. Tandavam. All right. So tandavam. Tandava natyam. So tandavam. Tandavam means when Lord Shiva, he will dance the dance of destruction. The dance of, when he danced, the whole world will be destroyed. The whole material universe, creation will be destroyed. So they call Tandava Natya. All right. So now he says that, so Tandavam. Tandavam also another thing is like he's dancing. All right. Now, Ganane Suganesha Dindima. Ganane means Lord Ganesha. And now when he was playing with Dindima, you know that the drum that Lord Shiva has, like that, you know, there's a kind of drum, and there's a small what they call rope holding a kind of a small kind of ball or something like that, bearing. So he just play like that, right? So now what happened? Immediately began to dance, beat upon his small dindima drum. While Lord Shiva was dancing in ecstasy, his eldest son Ganesha joined him. Okay. So this is the thing. Vilutitam yata tritiye. Alright, now quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.1.32. Kachit Buddha swastya na miva asti. Swapalka putro bhagavat prapanna. Ya Krishna padan kita marga pangshushva. Achestata prema vibhinna dairya. Alright, now the second symptom we are talking about rolling on the ground. Okay, rolling on the ground. So now, third canto, first chapter, verse 32, Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, Vidura inquires from Uddhava. So as we understand, third canto means first chapter, we are talking about discussion between Vidura and Uddhava. Okay, what happened? Vidura will be going on a pilgrimage because he doesn't want to, he don't want to see the war, that war. And that time, Vidura will be meeting many devotees, Maitreya, Uddhava, and all this. There'll be a discussion. We'll study that once we start our Bhagavatam, third chapter, Canto 3. So Vidura inquires from Uddhava. Vidura asking Uddhava, my dear friend, is Akrura is an auspicious condition? Akrura. Not only is learned scholar and sinless, but he is also a devotee of Krishna. He has such ecstatic love for Krishna that I have seen him rolling upon Krishna's footprint in the dust of bereft of all senses. So here, one question Vidura asking Uddhava. Is Akrura is an auspicious condition. Akrura. Why? Because whenever he's also a devotee of Krishna, but he's so much in ecstasy. Whenever you see that the dust or lotus print on the dust, right? So what he will do, he will start to roll on it. Okay, so rolling on it. That's why you see in Vrindavan, you go, there's one place where all the devotees go there, and there's a place where Krishna had his childhood pastime. The soil there is like the sand there, it is so fine, it looks like a powder. So what people do there, they just go there and they roll on the sand. They roll left, roll right, they'll be rolling and they'll taking the sand and putting on them, they're playing on the sand. Right, just like how in snowy country, they take the snow and throw at each other. Snowball. So like that, they'll be doing that. All right? Okay. Yata va. Navanuragena tavavasangi. Vanasrak amodam avapya matta. Vrajangane sa katine lutanti. Gatrang sugatri vranayan chakara. Similarly, one gopi gave message to Krishna that, okay, one gopi gave message to Krishna that Radharani, because of a separation from him, because of an enchantment with the aroma of his flower garland, was rolling on the ground, thereby bruising her soft body. All right. So Gopi sent a message to Krishna. Radharani is missing you so much, and she also like missing the separation from the, and also the enchantment of the garland of Krishna, the aroma. She missing it so much, and she is rolling on the ground. Sometimes we see our children, when they want something, and when we don't provide, the children will be sitting and rolling on the ground, crying. Or sometimes we also have seen, when someone passes away, they can't take the separation, such a pain. What they will do, they will start to roll on the ground. All right, they start to roll on the ground. Okay, rolling on the ground happen when there is a very high level of emotional situation. Either a person who are extremely emotionally distressed, or because what we have seen in this material, when the person is extremely emotionally distressed, when they hear someone passed away, they'll be falling on the ground and they'll be rolling. It is, you can see in every culture. All right, sometimes you see there's a disaster, there's an earthquake, many people died. Sometimes you see in Western countries, in South America, in China, in all any part of the world, when these kind of things happen, they just can't take it. Such a agony, they will fall on the ground and they start to roll on the ground. All right, sometimes the children also do the same thing. When they want something, when we don't provide, they roll on the ground. So similarly, this is what But now we are talking about rolling on the ground out of ecstatic. So when you see, sometimes when you see a devotee become so ecstatic, when they start to roll on the ground, we should understand this is out of ecstasy, not out of lamentation. But here in this example, we see Radharani is rolling on the ground because she can't take the separation. She's in great transcendental agony. All right. So you all following me on this? Okay. Now, let's look at the next one. Geetam yata ragadambara karambita cheta kurvati tava navam guna ganam gokulendra kurute jalatam sa radhikadya drishadam suhirdam cha. Singing loudly. One gopi informed Krishna that when Srimati Radharani was singing about his glories, she enchanted all her friends in such a way that they become stone-like and dull. At the same time, the nearby stones begin to melt away in ecstatic love. Right? Singing loudly. So, Gopi informed Krishna, when Srimati was singing about his glories, about Krishna, all her girlfriends became like stone-like, stunned. All right? And at the same time, the nearby stone, all the stones, they start to melt. Such a ecstatic love. So that's why when we are, okay, never mind. We go to the next one first before I come to this. All right? So Kuroshanam yata. Hari Kirtana Jata Vikriyaha. Sa Vichukrosha Tadaya Naradaha. Achiran Nara Singha Shankaya. Danujayena Nrita Vilil Ire. So here he says, when Narada Muni was chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, he chanted so loudly that it was apprehended by Lord Narasingha had appeared. That it was apprehended that Lord Narasingha had appeared. Thus, all the demons begin to flee in different direction. All right. So when there's the thing. So when a person chanting Hare Krishna mantra, he chanted so loudly that he apprehended. He brought Narasinghadev down. When Narasinghadev appeared, all the demons, when they saw Narasinghadev, all start to fly in different directions. What we can understand from this? When we chant Hare Krishna, especially when we go for kirtan, we should sing loudly. We should sing loudly. We should meditate on the meaning of that mantra. Hare means Radharani. Krishna means all attractive. Rama means reservoir of all pleasure. So, and this Hari Nam Kirtan, it is something distinct. That's why when you go for Radha Yatra or maybe even during Sunday feast, we should always sing loudly. And we should clap loudly. When you start clapping loudly, all that the what they call the what do you call this? The lines in your hand will start to fade. Your kutta karma should be erased. I mean, will be removed. So when you chant Hare Krishna mantra loudly, you can even apprehend the Lord. Okay, you can apprehend. So Krishna will be very, very interested. Sometimes, of course, there's a 3-way of chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. One is mana. That means you chant in your mind. All right. First you chant in your mind. Mana. There's a term for that. Second is you whisper. That is called japa. Third is when the mantra we're going to say it loudly, it becomes kirtana. All right. So when we say Harinama Sankirtana means sometimes it is better that we chant a bit louder. Do not need to scream, but chant in a way that people can hear you. Right? Like this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. That's called Kirtana. Right? When you whisper, it becomes japa. Third is manasa. You chant in your mind. When you chant in your mind, how you chant? By rolling your tongue inside. Like that. Your tongue will be rolling. Right? But of course, mana japa. It is not recommended for neophytes. For those who are very advanced, that's different. But for us, okay, I shouldn't say for us, but for me, all right, mana chanting in your mind is something which is not recommended. All right, because even while we are chanting loudly itself, we can't control our mind. We can't stop our mind from wandering. Imagine when you start to chant through your mind. All right, there's a particular, I can't recall, but I know it's Prabhupada disciple, but he's no longer with ISKCON. He was talking about why can't you chant 64 rounds easily? He say you can chant 64 rounds in basically in 3 hours time. And I was wondering, how is that possible? You chant 64 in 3 hours. How is that possible? So that's when he says, he gave an example like Gaur Govinda Maharaj. He used to chant in his mind. Of course, he's a great distinct sadhu. But I tried. Yes, you can do it within 3.5 hours. But after you complete, you'll be wondering, did I really chant? No. So it's better that we chant in these two ways. One is whisper, that is japa. That means you listen, you can hear yourself. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sometimes when you go out, oh, yo, how to chant like this? People will be seeing me, you're on plane or bus. Wear your face mask. Put on your face mask. All right. And if possible, try to get a earpiece like that. Put it there. Don't need to put any music. Just take and put it on your, just as though you cover your ears, you cover your mouth with your this thing, and you can slowly whisper. When you whisper and chant, when you close your ears, you tend to hear the japa more clearly. We studied that in Nectar of what they call Harinam Chintamani by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Where's the book? So we studied that in this book, right? Remember? All right, the Harinam Chintamani, all right, the holy name by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. There he said how you can chant by covering your mouth, your ears, and in front of your eyes, so you can. So that time we give recommendation that try to cover your ears. Say sometimes you just take your hand and cover, put like those who don't know, take your hand and cover your ears. Then start to chant very slowly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. If you cover your ears, you hear your chanting more clearly. So I suggested, why not put your the hands free, put it here, but don't on any music. Just cover your ears, your ear plug, or cover the thing. That the thing you cover and you start to chant softly. You can hear very clearly. All right. So that's very important. So chanting has to be very attentive. And how attentive? When there is no other element that come into your sing. Okay. So that's okay. Now, Tanu Mochanam Yata. Krishnam Namani Mudot Pavinite. Prenite Manasi Vainiko Munihi. Udbatam Kim Api Mottayan. Vapus Trotayatya Kila. Yakna Sutrakam. So here, editor's note, the verse 10 is placed between 9 to fit English text. All right. Okay. Now, the thing is stretching the body. It is said that sometimes when Narada, the carrier of Veena, Narada Muni always, you see, he carries a Veena, a small kind of violin, right? The Indian type of violin, the long one. He'll be carrying the Veena. Remembers is Lord Krishna in a great ecstasy. He began to stretch his body so vigorously that his sacred thread gives away. Sometimes he gets so excited, he stretch like that. He'll be like dancing. You see? Sometimes even the sacred thread also snapped. Yatava. All right. Urari Krita, Kakur Akula, Kurariva, Vrajarajananda, Murali Tarali, Kritantara, Muhur Akroshat, Ihadya Sundari, crying loudly. Gopi once said to Krishna, my dear son of Nanda Maharaj, by the sound of your flute. What flute is this? What flute is this? By the sound of your flute, Srimati Radharani has become full of lamentation and fear. The flute that attracts Radharani and gopis. What flute is this? Come on. Anyone? Gandhi Mataji, Sudha Sindhu Mataji, Karpya Mataji, Saras Mataji, Vaishnava Prabhu. What flute might be Krishna blowing? Murali. Yes. Okay, the word is here, Murali. All right. So Gopi became, that means when he start to play his Murali flute, Radharani has become full of lamentation and fear. And thus with faltering voice, she's crying like a kurari bird. Okay, I don't know what is kurari bird, but she start to cry like a kurari. Maybe just like think of, ooh, ooh, or maybe I'm not sure. But anyway, I don't want to speculate. All right. So like that. But now you're talking about crying out loudly. Loudly means, I mean, she should be crying like kurari birds means, that means kurari bird make such a big loud sound, I think. Like that, all right? Okay. Hunkaro yata Vainava Dvanibir Udbramat Diyaha Shankarasya Divi Hunkriti Swana Dvangshayannapi Muhosa Danavam Sadhu Vrindam Akarot Sadanavam. It is described that by hearing the vibration of Krishna's flute. Okay, what flute is this? Vainava Dvanivi Ubramat Diya Shankarasya Divi Hunkriti Swana. Right. Sadhu Vrindam Sadonavam. All right. So it's described by hearing the vibration of Krishna's flute. Lord Shiva became very puzzled. And then he began to cry loudly into space. All right. So when he started to hear the flute of Krishna, Lord Shiva became puzzled. What is this? Then he started to have a kind of ecstatic feeling. Then he started to cry so loud into space. Oh, like that. You know, look away. Oh, like that. Cry. When that thing happened, the demons became vanquished and the devotee became overwhelmed with joy. Jirinbanam yata visista kumuda vaneshmin uddayati purne kala nidau purata tava patmini mukha patmang bhajati jirimbang aho chitram. Yawning. Now we're going to talk about yawning. All right. It is said that when the full moon rises, the lotus petal became expanded. During the full moon, the lotus petal become expanded. Similarly, when Krishna used to appear before Radharani, her face, which is compared to the lotus flower, would expand her yawning. All right. Her face, which is compared to the lotus flower. Krishna, Srimati Radharani look like lotus flower, would expand by her yawning. When he start to yawn. Oh, and the face start to expand. Are you all following me on this? All these things we'll study in 10th Canto. Thumbs up if you follow. All good?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Swasa Bhuma Yata. Upashtite Chitrapatam Budagame Vivirda Trishna Lalitakya Chataki Nishvasha Janja Maruta Pavahitam Krishnam Budakaram Aveksha Chukshube. All right, now we are going to discuss on breathing heavily. What is breathing heavily? As far as breathing heavily is concerned, he stated Lalita, one of the gopis, just like a Chataki bird. I think Chataki bird breathes heavily, which one takes water falling from the rain cloud and not from any other source. All right, which takes water directly from the rain cloud and not from any other source. Okay, what is Chataki bird? It's a kind of bird. It doesn't drink water from well or any other water reservoir. He drinks bird from the rainfall. When the rain falling, he just open the mouth, and he drinks the water like that. That's why in those days, when the villagers see Chataki bird comes to their village, they get excited. because they know rain is coming. All right. So, like Gopi, just like the Chataki bird, all right. Which takes water from the falling from the rain cloud, not only from any other source. Okay, that means Lalita is one of the Gopi who do that. In this statement, Krishna is compared to the dark cloud. Krishna is compared to the dark cloud, and Lalita is compared to Chataki bird, seeking only Krishna's company. The metaphor continues to say, as a heavy wind sometimes disperses mighty cloud. Heavy wind, even how mighty the cloud can disappear. So the heavy breath from Lalita's nostril caused her to miss Krishna. Right? The heavy breath, sometimes it looks like she will miss Krishna. All right? Who had disappeared by the time she recovered herself. Right? So sometimes when you see Krishna, no, sometimes you get excited when you see someone. Okay, it's quite normal in a mundane term. You know, whenever you see one, your favorite actor, favorite music is, when they suddenly appear, they start to breathe, right? They'll be as though they saw some god or something like that, so mundane. You know, they get so excited to see all these kind of actors and all these kind of singers. So similarly, in that concept, so what happened? Suddenly, when Lalita sees Krishna, by the time she recovers, Krishna is already gone. All right. So like that. So this is another thing. Okay. Lokanapekshita yatashi dashame aho pashyata narinam api Krishne jagat gurav duranta bhavam yo vidyam mrityu pashan graha bidan. Neglecting the presence of others. As far as neglecting the presence of others is concerned, the wives of the Brahmana, example, we have studied that, all right, who were performing sacrifice at Vrindavan left home as soon as they heard that Krishna was nearby. They left their homes without caring for their learned husband. Their husband began to discuss among themselves, how wonderful is that attraction of Krishna that has made this woman leave us without care, all right? How wonderful the attraction of Krishna that make this woman, that means their wives, simply to live without even bother about them. This is influence of Krishna. Anyone who becomes attracted to Krishna can be relieved from bondage of birth and death. So here it says, anyone who becomes attracted to Krishna, they can be relieved from the bondage of birth and death, which can be compared to the locked up homes, okay, locked up homes that were neglected by the wives of a Brahmana. All right. Okay. Yatava Padyavalyam. Okay, now we're going to quote from Padyavali. Parivadatu jano yata tatava nanu mukkaro na vayam vicharayamaha. Hari rasa mandira madati matta bhuvi viluttaman nataman nirvishama. In Padyavali, there's a statement by some devotees. We shall not care for any outsiders. If they should deride us, we shall still not care for them. We shall simply enjoy the transcendental mellow of chanting Hare Krishna. And thus, we shall roll on the ground and dance ecstatically. In this way, we shall eternally enjoy transcendental bliss. All right? So the statement says we don't care about anyone. All right? If they should deride us, that means if they're going to make fun of you, why you are so sentimentally chant Hare Krishna? You are all sentimentalists. Even whatever they say, we are not going to be bothered about them. Why? Because we shall simply enjoy the transcendental mellow of chanting Hare Krishna. And thus we shall roll on the ground and dance ecstatically. In this way, we shall eternally enjoy transcendental. These are the people, they are making a statement. So they just can't be bothered about anyone else, but they just going to express themselves. Lala Shravo Yata Shanke Prema Bujangena Tasta Kashtam Gato Munihi Nishchalasya Yat Etasya Lala Sravati Vakrataha. Ruling. As an example of running down saliva from the mouth. Okay? As an example of running down a saliva from the mouth. It is stated that sometimes when Narada Muni was chanting Hare Krishna mantra, he remained stunned for a while and saliva oozed from his mouth. Right? Sometimes we just, when we become stunned and suddenly the saliva, all right? Sometimes, okay, we can see this quite often in our small children, right? Whenever you catch them doing something, you watch out. And they see start all the saliva start dropping. They call that drooling. All right. So these sometimes you can also see in this kind of ecstatic feeling in a devotee. Attahasa. Hasad binno vano haso. Yang chitta vikshepo sambhava. Laughing like a madman. Another symptoms of a devotee in ecstasy is laughing like a madman. When a devotee laughs very loudly like a madman, it is done out of an extraordinary agitation of ecstatic love within the heart. Such mad laughing is an expression of condition of the heart, which is technically called attahasa. Or maybe in Tamil we call attagasam. No, we don't do that. Attahasa. When a devotee becomes affected with this mental condition, his love is expressed through the lips. Right? Sometimes when you go to India, like some devotees, they'll be like laughing and laughing and laughing. So don't get offended. Please remind me about a story. No, incident when I went in South India, first time when I went, around 20 years ago, I was in Varadaraj temple, Kanjipuram. Vishnu temple, Varadaraj. So there, you see the deities will be smiling. And all the devotees, all the pujaris, all the brahmanas, all be smiling. So I remember I asked for a direction from one brahmana. And that brahmana spoke to me while laughingly. I was just thinking, what has gone wrong with him? You are here. Oh, you go there. Thinking, what has gone wrong with him? Now when I read this, now I remember. Maybe that's a symptom that he's expressed. After 20 years, I start to realize. I was thinking, do I look like a joker or what? I got offended actually. He was basically laughing. So like that. All right. Okay. Yata Shanke Chiram Keshava Kinkarasya Chestastate Bhakti Lata Prapulla Yenadi Tunda Stalam Atahasa Prashuna Punjas Chatulam Skalanti. The laughing sounds coming one with another are compared to flower falling from the creeper of devotion, which grows within the heart of the devotee. We are all now only trying to plant the seed, and the creeper just starting, just fructified. The creeper just started. That's why we say don't offend. The creeper of your bhakti can be overthrown. But here we are talking about once the creeper become matured, it start to produce flower and the flower is dropping. So from this statement, what we can understand, this kind of laughing like a madman, it is the highest level of ecstatic or devotional maturity. So we don't imitate. All right, the laughing sound coming one after another compared to a flower falling from the creeper of devotion. Now only you're planting, but there's a creeper of devotion. Once it is grown, it produces flower, produce fruit. It takes a long time, maybe after what? Many births. All right, which grows within the heart of the devotee. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, devotional service to the Lord is also compared. So devotional service to the Lord is also compared to creeper, which rises up to the lotus feet of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. All right. So Goloka Vrindavan. Okay. So now is the next one, wheeling on the hand. All right. So now it's 10 o'clock. Let's take a 2 minutes break. Okay. All right. Let's look at the next one. Gurnayata. Dhruvam agaripum adati. Adati vatyam. Nanu murali tvayi putkriti chalena. Kim anyam itarata dvanir vigurnanang. Sakitava gurnayati prajam buk pujak shihi. Right? Wheeling on the head. One gopi told her friends. Right? This one is, the next one is wheeling on the head. It appears that Lord Krishna, the enemy of the demon Aga, has released from his mouth the whirlwind, which is acting like your head and is gradually proceeding to the same to the other lotus-eyed gopis. All right. So, wheeling of the head. That means you start to spin your head. All right. So it looks like, so gopis was telling, looks like Lord Krishna released his from his mouth the whirlwind. Sulal katu, whirlwind. All right. So now which is acting on your head start to spin and is gradually proceeding to the same to the other lotus-eyed gopis. So all the gopis all became like so ecstasy and they start to will the hate. All right. But nowadays, of course, in mundane world, when we do that, when the people take ecstasy pill, a police friend of mine once told me, when they go to the pub, when they want to catch the people who take ecstasy pill, what they do? First, they off all the music, they on all the light, and they put on the music. When they put the music, when people start to shake the head, that means these are the fellows have taken the ecstasy pill. Of course, you can have that same ecstatic feeling once we start to, what they call, come up in our devotional service. Hikka. All right, hikka. Yata. Na putri rachayau shadam. Visirja rodam atyuttatam. Muda priya sakim prati. Tam ashivam kim ashankashe. Hari pranaya. Vikriya kulataya. Bruvana muhur. Varakshi harir ityaso. Vitanutedya hikka varam. All right. So now this is another thing, belching. Sometimes belching is also symptoms of ecstatic love of Krishna. There's evidence in Paurnamashi address. Paurnamashi is one of the gopis. To one crying associate of Radharani. My dear daughter, don't be worried because Srimati Radharani is belching. All right. I am about to offer you remedial measure for the symptom. Do not cry out so loudly. This belching is not due to indigestion. It is a sign of ecstatic love for Krishna. I also arranged a cure for this belching symptom immediately. Don't be worried. This statement of by Purnamasi is evidence that ecstatic love of Krishna sometimes manifests through belching. Prabhu, belching means vikal, dane? Vaishnava Prabhu? Are you there? Wait, let me check. Sandawa, vikal da. Okay, do you know what is belching?
Hari Krishna, but Sandawa means
Vikal, dane?
Yepam.
Oh, yepam, burping. Burping. Okay. Burping. Right. All right. So belching means what? Burping. Burp. Sometimes it becomes ecstatic love. Sometimes when person go into great ecstasy love, people start to burp. All right. Okay. So burping is also one of that ecstatic feeling. It's not because of indigestion. It is because of that ecstatic love for Krishna. Paurnamasi addressing a gopi. All right. Crying associate of Radharani. Okay. Vapur utpulatara toga madhya shu pare piye. Ativa viralatvat te naivatra parikirtita. Sometimes trembling of the whole body. Now talking about trembling now. Okay. Or hemorrhaging from some part of the body. Okay. Are also manifest in response of ecstatic love for Krishna. All right. Hemorrhage means kind of weakum. Yes or not? Vaishnava Prabhu is there.
It is bleeding, Prabhu.
Mataji?
Hemorrhaging is bleeding.
Bleeding.
Uh-huh.
Bleeding. Oh, okay. All right. So see, sometimes trembling of the body and hemorrhaging. That means there's some part of the body start bleeding. Bleeding. All right. It's also due to in response for ecstatic love of Krishna. But such symptoms are very rare. And therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami does not discuss any further on this point. Okay. So Rupa Goswami is not discussing any further of this point. So with that, we have already completed our Iti Sri Sri Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu Dakshine Vibhage Bhakti Rasa Samanya Nirupane Anubhava Lahari Dvitiya. All right. So we have already completed this thing. Now we're going to go to 28 existential ecstatic love. All right. So now let's do a recap here. So these are the things that we have studied today, that this is the symptoms of a person who have already gone into ecstatic love. All right. So all the symptoms that we have studied here, bodily symptom, all right, of devotee expressing ecstatic love. All right. So what are the things is like this? Number one is we talk about it's not moving. Okay. All right. So what are the things? Number one is dancing, rolling on the ground, singing very loudly, stretching the body, crying loudly, yawning, breathing very heavily, neglecting the presence of others. That means we are not bothered about people. Drooling, laughing. Drooling means like saliva dropping, laughing like a madman, wheeling the head. That means spinning the head, and belching. Belching means you are burping. All right. So these are the things. But of course, the last part of it we call as something that we are not going to discuss, that is hemorrhaging. All right. So these are the things. Okay. So far, any questions on this chapter? All good? Hare Krishna. Everybody's there?
So far,
Alright.
this one is okay, Prabhu, for me.
Okay. This is all straightforward. All right. The further explanation is from the following one. Okay. So now we're going to discuss on chapter 28. Okay. Existential ecstatic love. All right. Existential ecstatic love. All right. Okay. First thing. Satvikakya Tritiya Lahari. Krishna Sambandhi Bihi. Sakshat Kinchitva Vyavadhanataha. Paves Chittam Iha Krantam Sattvam Ityuchate Buddhahi. All right. It's quoting from third wave. Now we have already completed our second wave. Now we are coming to the Southern Ocean third wave. All right. 2.3. Okay. Now we're going to the third wave of the Southern Ocean. All right. What does it mean? When a devotee is always intensely affected by love of Krishna in a direct relationship with him, or even a little part from him, his status is called existential ecstatic love. All right. The love that existingly that you have it with you. All right. When a devotee always intensely affected. All right. So see, this is the word affected. It's a kind of affection, right? Affected by love of Krishna, either directly or indirectly. This is called as existential ecstatic love, or we call Satvikakya Tritiya. Krishna Sambandha Saksha Kinchit Vyavishchittam. Sattvam. All right, Satvikaya. All right, now let's look at this. Sattvat Asmat Samutpana Yei Bhavastu Te Sattvat Asmat Samutpanna Ye Bhavas Te Tu Satvikaha Snigdha Digdas Tata Ruksha Ityami Trivida Mataha. The symptoms originating from such external ecstatic love are divided into three headings. All right. The symptoms are into three headings. All right. Number one is moist, burnt, and dried up. All right. So this kind of symptoms, we understand, got three headings. First is moist. All right. Moist means it's like kind of wet. It's not totally wet. It is like moist. Second is burnt. Third is dried up. All right. So now let's look at the first one, moist. Tatra snigdaha. Snigdastu satvika mukhya. Gaunas cheti dvida mataha. The moist existential ecstatic love aroused in connection with Krishna divided into two. That means direct and indirect. Okay. So the symptoms of this what they call existential ecstatic love got three, under three heading. Number one is moist, burnt, and dried up. Now we look at take the first one out. All right. Now we're going to take the first one out. All right. The moist one. Okay. So the moist one, okay, it has The moist one, it has two. It's divided into two. The one is direct and second one is indirect. Tatra mukyaha. Akraman mukyaya ratya. Mukyasyu satvika ami. Vikneya Krishna sambandha. Sakshat evatra suribihi. Yata kundair mukundaya. Muda srajanti. Srajam varam kunda vidambit danti. Babuva Gandharva, Rasena Venur, Gandharvika, Spandana Shunya Gatri, Mukhya Stamboyam, Ita Te Nyeya, Sweta Dayo Picha. Alright, so now it's mentioned here. Alright, let me see. There's a lot of verses, but only few translations here. Let me check. 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5. Third wave. Satvika Bhav. All right, in the third base, actually, we are talking about Satvika Bhav. 1000 section. All right. 2, 3, 4. Tatra Mukhya Akrama Mukhyaya. Yeah. Principal Snigdha Satvika Bhava. Wow. Quite detailed. All right. It's not written here, but I've got a book. All right. This book is by commentary by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, translated by Banu Maharaj. All right. Look at this translation. I just read it to you. All right. Okay. So it's like this. 2, 3, 4. The principle Snigdha Satvika Bhav. The principle of Satvika Bhav arises from principle of Rati. The voice called this relationship with Krishna's direct. So we talk about direct relationship and indirect relationship, yes or not? So the first this thing, then we are talking about 2, 3, 4. Let me just highlight this. All right, this 2, 3, 4. The translation is like this. The principle Satvika Bhava. That means the Satvika Bhava principle means arise from the principle of Rati. The voice called this relationship with Krishna direct. So we talk about direct relationship. Okay. So the commentary by Jiva Goswami says the nature of Snigdha Satvika Bhava is that the heart is overcome by either the principle of secondary Rati, which will be explained. In general, the characteristic of Snigdha Satvika Bhava should be understood in this way. The heart should be agitated by any one of these types of Rati. So it creates a kind of agitation. All right, when you look at 2, 3, 5, it says an example of principle Snigdha Satvika Bhava. What it says? Radha whose teeth were whiter than the kunda flower. Radha Rani's teeth is whiter than the kunda flower, while making an excellent garland. Oh, it's mentioned here. Oh, okay, it's here. Heard the sweet sing. Okay, now this translation is here. Okay, now. So now it says, Radharani was wearing a garland of kunda flower, and upon hearing the vibration of Krishna's flute, she immediately stopped her work. This is an example of direct, moistened, existential, ecstatic love. This is also called direct, moistened, okay, ecstatic love. Okay, now 236. 236 is Mukhya Stamba. This is an example being stunned by the principle. It arises from the principle Rati, Madhurya Rati. In the same way, the appearance of other Sattvika Bhava, such as perspiring, should be understood. All right, anyway. No wonder it's not given because very much in detail. All right, okay. Now let's look at the next one. Ata Gaunaha. Ratya Kramanata Prokta. Gaunaste Gauna Bhutaya. Ata Krishnasya Sambandha. Sya Kinchit Vyavadanataha. Yata Swavilochanene Chatta Kambude. Puri Nite Purushottame Pura. Atitamra Mukhi Sagad Gadam. Nirpam Akroshati Gokuleshwari. Imau Gauna Vaivarnya Swara Bedau. So indirect moisten. Now we are talking about indirect moisten. Okay, is existential ecstatic love described in the following statement. Okay, indirect moisten is indirect is given this way. Krishna is also called as Purushottama. He is the eyes of the mother Yashoda, just like the cloud is to be eyes of the Chataki bird. When Krishna had brought to Mathura, Mother Yashoda, being very anxious and angry, began to rebuke the king of Mathura. All right. Ata digda ratidvaya vina bhuter bhavir manasa akraman. Jane jata ratau digda te chet ratyanugaminaha. Yata putanam iha nishamya nishayam. Sa nishanta luttat udbata gatrin. Kampitanga latika vraja rajni. Putram akula matir vichinoti. Burnt existential. All right, now we're talking about burnt ecstatic love divided into three. All right, this burnt is divided into three. All right, and one example as follows. One day, Mother Yasoda was dreaming about the gigantic demon Putana was lying on the courtyard of her house, and she immediately became anxious to seek out for Krishna. All right, this is also one of that burnt ecstasy. I don't understand why. Maybe as we go on, we will study that, I think. Okay, I think we will do that as we go on. All right. Kamporati anugamitvat asau digdat itiryate ruksha madurascharya tat vartot panair mut vismayadibir jata bhaktot pame ruksha rati shunye jane vachit. When there's a manifestation of ecstatic symptom in the body of non-devotee, okay, when there's a ecstatic symptom in the body of a non-devotee, they are also called dried up symptoms of ecstatic love. The non-devotee are actually materialistic, okay, but in contact with some pure devotee, they sometimes manifest some symptoms of ecstasy. Devotional scholars call this as a dried up symptom, okay, the symptom which is dry. All right, sometimes they say, have you seen that? Sometimes when we see a non-devotee, when we talk about Krishna's pastime, when we talk about Krishna's chanting, his pastime, sometimes you can see the eyes will start to roll in their eyes, from the eyes. They start to tear, and sometimes they start to have some kind of palpitation, and sometimes they can even choke. They can be choked. Choke means they were like want to cry. They control their cry. So these are the symptoms we call as dried symptom. First symptom is Mother Yasoda in dream saw Putana is in front of the house. She got up, immediately look for Krishna, want to protect Krishna in the dream. Second is when the non-devotee start to show some ecstasy. It's also second symptom, a dried symptom. All right. The next one is Yata Bogaika Sadhana Jusarati Ganda Shunyam Swam Chestasya Hirdayam Atra Vivirinvatopi Ullasina Sapadi Madhava Keli Gitais Tasyangam Pulakitam Madurais Tadasit Ruksha Esha Romancha Rukshoyam Rati Shunyatvat Romancham Katito Buddhai Mumukshu Prabirtau Purvam Yorata Vyasa Iritaha Chittam Satvi Bhavat Prane Nyasyat Manam Udpatam Pranastu Vikriyam Gachan Deham Viksho Vyayatyalam Tada Stambadayo Bhava Bhakta Dehe Bhavanti Ame Te Stamba Sveda Romancha Swara Bedota Vepatuhu Vaivarnyam Ashru Pralaya Ityastu Satvika Smarta. So these are the 8 symptoms, existential, okay, 8 symptoms of existential ecstatic love. All right. So what are the 8 symptoms? Number 1, first thing is become stunned. All right. First thing is become stunned. Number 2 is perspiring. Number 3, standing of the hair on the body. So what is this? Right? Standing of the hair on the body. Then another word, another 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is filtering of voice. The voice start to filter. Number 3 is trembling of the body. The body start trembling. Changing of bodily color. Where we have read that? Changing of bodily color. You know, when everyone start to chant Krishna's name, when Balaram start to sing Krishna, everything turn white, right? Or sometimes the body of Krishna is so soft, when they hold it, it's like turning of color. So sometimes when a person becomes in a great ecstasy, changing of bodily color, or in other words, pale, they become pale, all right? Then shedding of tears and devastation. That means they become frustrated. They can't wait for Krishna. All these symptoms we can see in the gopis of Vrindavan. Chatvari Shamadi Bhutani Prano Jatva Valambate Kadachit Swa Pradana Sandehe Charati Sarvata Stambang Bhumi Stita Pranas Tanotyashru Jalashaya Tejasta Sveda Vaivarnye Pralayam Viyat Ashayaha. The scientific explanation of these 8 symptoms are given by Rupa Goswami as follows. When the vital force of life is in contact with earth, one is stunned. When the same force comes in contact with water, there will be shedding of tears. Okay. So vital force of life means what? The soul. When the soul come in contact with the earth, it becomes stunned. When the same force touch water, it turn into shedding of tears. When the same force comes in contact with fire, there will be perspiration. When the same force contact with the sky, it become a complete devastation. Okay. What does it mean? We will study as we go on. Swata eva kraman manda madhya trivatya bedabak romancha kampa vaivarnyani atra trinini tanotyasav. And when the force comes into contact with the air, there's trembling, failing of the voice, and standing of the hair on the body. The voice will start to fail, the body will start to have a goosebump. Bahir antascha vikshobha vibayitvat atasputam proktanubhava vatamishang bhavatacha manishibihi. These symptoms are sometimes manifest internally and sometimes externally. Sometimes we can see internally, you can feel it inside. And sometimes we can see it outside. The pure devotee always feels such symptoms. Expression within himself, not being afraid of outsiders. He does not generally manifest them externally. All right? Sometimes they don't care about this, but being afraid of outsiders, maybe they must start to make fun. Like sometimes, when we feel like crying, we try to control our tears because we fear outsiders will start to think that we are very weak. We try not to cry. Right? So something like that. Okay. Now, Tatra stamba, stambo harsha bayarcharya, vishada marsha, sambhava, tatra vagadi rahityam, naischalyam sunyatadayaha. So becoming stunned. Now, first thing is becoming stunned. The symptoms of being stunned is because of ecstatic tribulation, fearfulness, astonishment, lamentation, and anger. The symptoms is exhibited by stoppage of talking, stoppage of movement, feeling of voidness, and extreme feeling of separation. When we become stunned, there's many things that can cause we become stunned. What are the things? Or in Malay, we call kaku, K-A-K-U. Just kaku, just stunned. Right? So when the thing happens, when there's a tribulation, all right, agitation, fearfulness, suddenly, fear, really? Astonishment, lamentation, just start to go in. And anger, become angry. The symptom exhibited by stoppage of, okay, when this thing happened, what happened? A person will stop talking, they stop moving, and they start to feel everything seems to be void. Everything becomes like, now no, this thing, an extreme feeling of separation. So these are the symptoms. Tatra harshat yata tritye, yasyanuraga pulata hasarasa, Lilavaloka pratilabdamanaha Prajastriyo Drigbir Anupravirta Diyo Vatastuhu Kila Kritya Sheshaha. When Uddhava was describing Krishna's pastime to Vidura, he said, one day the gopi became stunned when Krishna, in the dress of gardening maid, entered the greenhouse and enlivened them with joking and laughter. When he saw the gopis, they became stunned. Right? When he came in a form of a maid and entered the greenhouse. When the Krishna left the greenhouse, the gopis were seeing Krishna so ecstatically, it was as though that both their mind and eyes were following him. They were like so stunned. These symptoms signify that although the gopis' business was not finished, they had become stunned with ecstatic love. Are you all following me on this? Okay. I believe you all are following. Bayat yata. Giri sanniba malla chakra ruddam purata prana parardata parardayam tanayam janani samikshya shushyan nayana hanta babuva nischalangi. Another example of being stunned. Another example being stung when Krishna was surrounded by various wrestlers in the sacrificial area of Kamsa. You know, when Krishna was there, all the big wrestlers surrounded him. That time, his mother Devaki became stunned. Oh, you, my son. And her eyes dried up when he saw Krishna among the wrestlers. How this big Daddy Mad is going to fight with my no? Became stunned, fear. All right, because of fear. What? Because of Baya. Baya means fear. The next one is Ascharya. All right. Ascharya means astonishment. Achiryam. Ascharya in Tamil we call Achiryam. So Ascharya yata Sri Dashame, quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam. Tato tikutu ko dvirtya stimitaikada shendriya tat damna but ajastushnim pur devyantiva putrika. There's another example of astonishment, yes, of Lord Brahma. In the explanation of 10th Canto, 13th chapter, verse Srimad Bhagavatam, when Brahma understood that the cowherd boys were Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, when he started to know that all the cowherd boys, what happened? Brahma will take all the cowherd boys, start to hide them. All right. Then after that, Krishna expanded every cowherd boys. So when Brahma realized that, he became stunned. All right. All his sensitive stopped when he saw that all the cowherd boys again, along with Krishna. Lord Brahma was so stunned that he appeared to be golden statue with four heads. He became like so stunned. He became like a statue. It was like so extreme shock. Okay. Yatava Shishos Shamasya Pashyanti Shailam Abramiliham Kare Tatra Chitrar Pive Vasit Goshti Goshta Nivashinam. Also, when the resident of Raja found that Krishna had lifted Govardhan hill with his left hand, they became stunned. You know, when they heard that Krishna lifted the thing, they were like so stunned, so shocked. Okay. Vishadat Yata Baka Shodara Danavodare Purata Preksha Vashantam Achyutam. Division Nikaro Vishannadihi Prakatam Chitra Patayate Divi. Astonishment caused by lamentation. Just now, astonishment caused by shocking. But now, second is lamentation. Was exemplified when Krishna was entering into the belly of Agasura demon. All the demigods from higher planet became stunned with lamentation. You know, the Agasura demon, he entered into the belly and killed it, okay? But when he went in, all the demons, oh, yo, Pochi, finish. We were depending on Krishna to kill the Agasura, but now he entered into the belly. Looks like the Agasura have eaten up Krishna. So they became stunned they became astonished. Right? Achiryam, through lamentation. Polambal. Amarshat yata. Kartum ichchati muradivshe pura. Patri moksham akirpite kripi sute. Satvaropi ripu nishkraye rusha. Niskriya kshanam abut kapi dvaja. A similar example of becoming stunned was visible in Arjuna when he saw Ashwatthama was attempting to release the Brahmastra to Krishna. Right? When he wanted to release the Brahmastra at Krishna, atomic nuclear weapon, Ashwatthama, what they call? Arjuna became stunned. Okay, some examples. Ata Sveda, Svedo Harsha Baya, Krodadi Ja Kleda Harastano, Tatra Harshat Yata, Kim Atra Surya Tapam Akshipanti, Mugdaksha Chaturyam Urik Karosi, Nyatam Pura Prekshya Saroru Haksham, Swinnasi Binna, Kusuma Yudena. All right, the second thing is perspiring. Okay, perspiration, all right, or sweating. The example of perspiring because of jubilation described in Vedic literature. One Gopi addressed Radharani. He says, "My dear Radharani, you are rebuking the sunshine of unnecessarily. You are rebuking the sunshine unnecessarily. But I can understand that you are perspiring only because because of your becoming too lusty at seeing Krishna." Right? Because Radharani became so lusty seeing Krishna, she started to perspire. Bayat yata, kutukat abhimanyu veshinam, harim akrusha gira pragalbaya, vidita kritir akula shana, ajani swinna tanu sa raktakaha. Perspiration caused by fearfulness, okay, exhibited by Raktaka, one of the servant of Krishna. One day Krishna dressed himself like Abhimanyu, right? The husband of Radharani. Okay, Abhimanyu's husband is Radharani. Okay, Abhimanyu did not like Radharani associated with Krishna. And therefore, when Raktaka saw Krishna in the dress of Abhimanyu and thus mistook his identity, he began to strongly rebuke him. Hey, you, cheater! As soon as Raktaka finally understood that it was Krishna in the dress of Abhimanyu, he began perspiring. This perspiration is caused by fearfulness. When you start to realize that it's Krishna, actually, he became very fearful. Sometimes when you get scared, we start to perspire. This one thing. Krodat yata yaknasya bangat ati vrishti karinam samiksha shakram sarusha garut mataha ganot paristat api tistatas tada nipetur angat gana nira bindava. Perspiration due to anger was exhibited by Garuda, the eagle that carries Vishnu. Once the heavenly king Indra was sending torrents of rain over Vrindavan. Garuda was observing this incident from above at the cloud and he became very angry and he became perspiring. You know, okay, this is very straightforward. Ata romanchoyam kilakshcharya harsho saha payadija romnam abhyudgamastatra gatra samparshanaadayaha tatra ascharya yata dimbasya jrimbam bhajastri loki vilokya vilakshyavati ukanta babuva gostendra kutumbina viniyam tanu ruhe kutmalingtanga yasti. Right, standing the hair of the body. The standing of the hair of the body was manifest when Mother Yasoda found within Krishna's mouth all the universal planet. You know, Krishna used to take the what they call sand. Mother Yasoda tried to stop it. Open your mouth. You are sure. When she opened the mouth, she saw the entire universe. She had asked Krishna to open his mouth. Why? Just to see whether he had eaten dirt. But when Krishna opened his mouth, he saw not only the entire earth, but also many other planets within the mouth. These caused a standing up hair of her body. She was so shocked. Can you imagine? You know, she was so stunned. Harshat yata Sri Dashame Kimte Kristam Shiti Tapo Pata Keshavangiri Sparshot Savot Vulatikanga Ruher Vibasi Apyangri Sambhava Urukrama Vikramatva Aho Varaha Vapusha Pariramba Nena. The standing up of hair of the body resulting from jubilation. All right, that means the hair standing out of the body because of excitement. This guy in 10 Canto, 13th chapter, verse 10, Srimad Bhagavad, in connection with the gopis, engaged in the rasa dance. During this rasa dance, Krishna disappeared all of a sudden. Krishna loved to do that. Krishna loved to do that. Even in our life, Krishna also just keep doing that. He'll be there when we all are so excited chanting, pum, suddenly disappear. When we go on chanting, suddenly, pum, we lose the taste. And we'll be wondering what actually gone wrong. And we start to lament, oh, which devotee are offended, what went wrong, like that. So Krishna loves to do that. Get ready. Krishna loves to play this joke with you, prank. He loves to prank you. So whenever you go to this, just imagine Krishna is one place hiding and looking at you. And you're telling Krishna, look here, I saw you there standing looking at me. I'm not pranked. Please come back. Revive my taste for chanting. Don't go and hide. It's already millions of birth and death. I suffered. All right. You can play hide and seek after I become a pure devotee. But now, not now, Krishna. Please, Krishna, please. I'm struggling in this wilderness of material existence. Now is the time for me not to play hide and seek with you. You can play hide and seek after I become a pure devotee. Then you play hide and seek, not now. All right. Now what happened? Krishna disappeared out of all sudden with Radharani. Then the gopis begin to search him out. At that time, they addressed the earth and said, dear earth planet, how many austerities and penance you have undergone to have lotus feet of Krishna always touching your surface? I think that you must be very so glorious. May we seek when you first go to the, may we ask when first got these symptoms? Have you been enjoying this jubilation since you are touched by the incarnation of Vamana or since you are delivered by incarnation of Varaha? Okay. So at that time, the gopis was like so stunned, right? The hair of the body was standing and everything. In jubilation, suddenly Krishna disappeared. When they disappeared, the gopis were looking here and there. Suddenly they look at the earth and start to question her. When you got this boon, right? Have you enjoyed this when you touched by incarnation of Vamana? Right? Vamana Dev asking for 3 pieces of land. Or when he hold the earth, first one, second on the top, third is the bottom. Or second is Varaha. All right? Is it Vamana or since you delivered by the incarnation of Varaha? Varaha means what? Hiranyaksha take the earth and go and hide it deep into the milk ocean. In a very nasty place, dirty place. Nobody dares to go there. Only filthy animal can go there. So Krishna take the form of boar, wild boar, Varaha. Wild boar like to go to take all this, eat all this dirty stuff, yes or not? White ball, Katupandi, all right? Wild boar, all right? Babi hutan, all right? They call babi hutan in Malay. All right? They only these, they go to the abominable place. That's why Varaha took that, Krishna took that abominable form, went to that abominable place and lift the earth up. So they asked, is it because of this you got this boon? So like that, they had a very nice discussion. All right. So I think we stop here, 10:44, because the next one is going to be even more and more utsahat. Okay. Please mark your book. Krishna sometimes perform mock fighting.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, there's only one more paragraph of sending of hairs, right? After that is faltering of the voice. One more.
Which page, Mataji?
I'm looking at the book 261.
261.
The book.
I mean, 261 now.
Book. In the book, not the other one. Not the one with the Sanskrit verses.
Yeah, I understand. Oh, okay.
It's only
Oh,
one.
yeah. There is another instance. Krishna would sometimes perform mock fighting. Where is it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Krishna. Oh, I said. Contact gopis inform Krishna, my dear, you disappear when you are in a rasana. How come I didn't see the receipt? Which paragraph?
The last paragraph for sending of hairs on the body.
Oh, the last paragraph, standing of the hair. Standing of the hair. I was thinking, wow, so far we went there already. So, what page is that?
261 of my book.
Oh, because further, it is a further this thing. Okay. In this book is no. This is actually chapter 29, right? Expression of love for Krishna.
Chapter 28.
28. Okay, chapter 28. under the title of standing of the hair.
There's only one more paragraph, Prabhu. That's why I'm saying it. We can stop.
Oh, okay. In my book is 225.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is the last paragraph. Okay. Okay, the next is okay, filtering of the voice. Okay. All right. So, all right, we just do the last paragraph. Utsahat yata sringam keli anarambe ranayati aga mardane Sri Damno yodu kamasya reme romanchitam vapuhu. Krishna would sometimes perform mock fighting. Okay. He sometimes loved to do mock fighting along with the cowherd boys. When Krishna blew his horn in the mock fighting, Sri Dama, who was on the opposite side, felt his body hair stand up. All right. There's anything, even there's a mock fighting. When Krishna started to blow the horn, you know, the what they call buffalo horn. When he start to blow his horn, all right, Sridham is one of the best friend of Krishna. I mean, you see, who will be on opposite side. I mean, they are on opposite side. Felt his bodily hair start to sting. Okay, so that thing. So filtering of the voice. The next one is filtering of the voice. Similarly, when Arjuna saw Krishna's gigantic universal, yes. All right. Okay. So please mark the book. We continue tomorrow. In my version of Nectar of Devotion is at page 226. Right? So you open for questions. Any questions? I think all these are very straightforward. Filtering of the voice, trembling, changing the bodily color, devastation, degree of ecstatic symptoms. Right? It's all just reading. Okay. So I think we can finish this by tomorrow. And day after tomorrow, we can go into chapter 29, expression of love for Krishna. Disappointment, humility, pride, fatigue, intense emotion, disease. Then we start chapter 30. All right. So any questions? All good? Chapter 30. Okay, so when we start chapter 30, we have another okay. Chapter 30, expression of love for the features of Krishna, additional symptom of continuous listening, indirect expression, nectar of devotion. So 34 is going to be the highlight of this chapter, nectar of devotion. Then we start part 3. That means we are starting on the western, north, eastern, southern, eastern, southern, and I think we're going to start Western Ocean. Western Ocean, I think we can start by next week. All right. Then the Western Ocean go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 chapters from page 285 to 353. And part 4, okay. All right. So part 4 go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chapters. I think most likely we can finish by December. All right. So see if we can finish early, we can even start our Bhagavatam class, or in between Bhagavatam, this thing to Srimad Bhagavatam, we have something like 3 months. Maybe we can consider read some other small books. All right. So when there's no question, we end the session here. Thank you so much for your time. We meet again tomorrow at 9:15. Till then, have a nice day. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyavacha patitanam pavinibhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Have a beautiful day. Gauranga.